Hello everyone, this is Silver Sprout. It's been a long time since I've made a video before the changes have been made for new skills and the new lands and all that good stuff. Um, Today's video is going to be focused on Chivalry skill. So Chivalry is kind of the new warrior skill. It is for Dexers, primarily Dexers, unless you're just going to be healing. Um, Chivalry, it is a defensive ability, in my opinion. It does have some offensive traits, but along with holy armor, when you spend the holy symbols, then you gain um, damage resistance. So the suit I'm going to be using today is Holy Aspect, which is one of the newer aspects. So you see here you get 13 damage resistance, or 13% damage resistance, um, for 5 seconds per symbol spent. So that's a huge bonus to damage reduction. And then the other benefits are you get more holy points, like you get a extra symbol per tick sometimes, and then your chivalry skill is increased, which increases the effectiveness of your abilities, which is obvious when you use certain ones like this whirlwind here. Speeds you up in melee attacks, and it's very good. Very nice. I like it. Then you have your AoE heal here, and you have a heal that fully heals you here. So a lot of really good benefits from Chivalry. And the weapon here, it is 500 damage plus 50 damage per tier level, which is pretty standard for most aspects, and it heals um, 10 friendly players within 12 tiles, which is great for bosses. The harder bosses, it'll pretty much fully heal your team depending on how close you are to them, but 12 tiles, it's a huge radius. Um, that's how large the radius is for runes for a scribe. Um, yeah, so here's the build here. It's more like a tanky PvP build. Works well for PvP and works well for PvM. Um, you don't necessarily need to build it tanky, but you probably will want it a bit tankier with parry and resist against certain mobs, like in the Shadowspire Cathedral, the new dungeon. That place is really difficult, so it is nice to have a tankier build like this. Um, Alright. Didn't even know my damage tracker was running. So I've been running around to different dungeons with this build, just testing it out all over. It's pretty much good everywhere. You can solo at Shadowspire as well. Um, Between these two healing skills, healing at 100, healing at 80 here, and then potion heals, you're pretty well taken care of throughout the fight. And then you have your Macing Codex and Parry Codex here. Um, so we're just going to start with Shield Bash at most dungeons. It is a more defensive stance, and then you can do hinders, which is nice if you need to heal often in certain dungeons. Warding is my favorite one in Shadowspire. It gives you 8% resistance to bleed, disease, and poison per tick, which reduces 60 damage ticks to like 10 damage ticks with anatomy. It's very, very good. You can just sit there and like have 6 disease stacks and it doesn't do anything to you. It's crazy. And then barrier as well. It gives you resistance to disease, poison, bleed as well if you're in a rut. Um, yeah, but we'll be using the other stances as well. All of them are good. You just have to pick and choose which ones you want depending on what you're fighting. Like magic mobs, I use mirror. Disease, bleed, poison, use warding. And then for the macing stance, I've just got aggressive on. Um, There are many other good ones. I like defensive in Shadowspire, for instance. You don't kill things as fast, but you don't die either. Um, yeah, we can test that out actually now. We'll do Shadowspire first. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and do Mirror for the beginning. I'm always afraid of level 1. I hate level 1 of Shadowspire. I think it's harder than level 2 in my opinion. Alright, we're gonna travel from a gate to get a little damage boost. Alright, we're just gonna take on these beginning mobs here. I like having Whirlwind on at all times, just because it's a really good one. Alright, he's gonna aggro us, so we're gonna turn on warding and then have this bleed effect on too, just so we take less damage from bleeds. Magic resist potion might be good too, but may not need it. Nice thing about bleeds on this build is you can start a bandage timer while you're bleeding. So you can be full health and start a bandage timer. Gonna do our damage skills here. So when you're fighting one mob at a time, you can go with maybe a little more aggressive stance for more damage, so let's change that. Of course I proc right then. And then against this little guy, you want more of a magical stance. And then Chivalry, this one, it reflects spells. Occasionally. Doesn't always work. Should have done a bandage timer this whole time, but that didn't work. So Mephits are really difficult in general. I'm gonna die here actually. Yep. Almost. That was a close one. Mephits are hard for most players, is what I've heard. It's their ability to hit twice basically with their spells. It's very, very strong. And that particular one decreased magic resist. So as far as your stances go, you can set up hotkeys for them. It's really helpful. I have hotkeys set up on live. I'm just on test server, so of course I don't have all those. Let's try this one. I don't know if that's helpful, honestly. Increases pierce effects. I actually don't know if that increases damage when you do your ability or not. That's okay. Very indecisive. Let's get this gargoyle. We don't want to fight him and the other one at the same time. So this particular mob, same with the other ones, they'll drain your stamina. Not a fun thing to deal with. we'll just keep defensive stance on right. For now. When we go down to the next level, I like the stance that increases resistance to bleeds and disease and all that. Very helpful. Okay, I think this one will be much easier than the last defeat. The one that lowers magic resist is tough. Yeah, this one does nothing. So as you can see, it's not like the fastest killer in the world, but it's more meant for groups. I don't want to drag all the mobs here. I feel like I'm taking a lot of damage. Oh, that's probably why. Oops. Shit. That's the more defensive stance at the bottom. We'll try that one here. Yeah, it's doing a little better. Alright, let's try to drag this guy away. You know, even on my tamer build, I only take one thing on at a time down here. Mobs can be rough when you have more than one. These guys are pretty easy though. Oops. Well, here we go. The only bad thing about the proc with this character is it's within a 12 tile radius for the damage. So you pull the entire room on you. It could be an okay thing with this particular stance here. You gain 1% per rank, which is 7% total for each mob on you. Up to 10 mobs. So what is that? 70% damage resistance. Let's try to get the Mephites. 2 Mephites at once is no good. We'll just grab him instead. I'm just gonna put warding on just in case. Reduces bleed effects. Seems to be okay. All right. I want this little guy to come after us here. This one lowers defense, which can be really rough when fighting those other dudes all together. So we'll watch our health here and use our second healing move when we need to. That wasn't really necessary, but it's okay. Alright, time to test out this poison ward. Take that off. There we go. Should have a magic resist as well. So the poison skill is cool. It basically gets rid of your poison, does extra damage to the enemy. I like the spell hue. Do you do that? Maybe it's just poison spell hue. That was easy. Let's see, we can do... Let's do Shield Bash for this one. What I really wanted to show is level 2. I didn't mean to do that healing move. Didn't do that. But yeah, level 2 with the disease poison resistance, it's really funny to watch. I'd like to show that. These guys are probably the toughest for Dexers since they lower your accuracy with their intimidation. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to skip the next mobs, and we're going to go right to... Is there a level 3, really? Oh, is that considered level 3? Interesting. Alright, so against these mobs, what you really want is this bleed resistance and warding. And aggressive is fine. You can even do an extra defensive stance if you want. But it's not really needed. The purpose is really to show the damage of the bleeds and poison and all that. Not poison, excuse me, disease. It's pretty crazy. So for the most part, if you just fight mobs one-on-one, you don't need anything but bandages down here, which is crazy to say. Especially if you're using, I think, air aspect. You get a damage mitigation of that too. I think it's like 20% or 26%. Okay, here we go. So these guys usually do 60 damage with their disease. But I think it's, yeah, down to 9 damage. Or maybe it's 11. Yeah, 11 damage, sorry, per tick. And yeah, that can add up, and you can dodge that easily, no problem. But there's really no need to dodge it on this particular build. I'm actually glad they made that change because you don't need taste ID. There's a mob in here that's got a lot of disease too. We'll fight it in a moment here. Get rid of that. You can take on marksman pretty easy too on this build. I'll show that in a minute after the disease mob. Let's see. I'll just keep all that on. Make it a little easier on us. Oops. That's going to do a lot of damage to us, I think. Unless the damage mitigation helps with that too. I don't know. You generally want to dodge that because it's so strong. As long as you don't get hit by more than one at a time. We'll just let our bandage heal us here. So those are the guys that I want to fight. So I'll stand in the disease just to show just how ridiculous it is. And this is with an aggressive stance, so if we change it to defensive, I think it's even less damage. Yeah, 1 less damage per tick. And you can just use bandages to heal yourself through, for the most part. We can always use our healing ability too. And we'll fight the marksman after this guy. For the marksman, we definitely want defensive up. And then you can do either shield bash or this bulwark. I like bulwark. So we'll just have that activated. For the roach, we're definitely going to do aggressive. Get this over with. I think the grave bug, it actually takes the longest to kill. Is this a paragon or something? No. It's just taking forever. As long as you break its armor, it's not bad, but I wasn't breaking much armor there for a while. Oh, that's why. Just noticed that we're on a corpse and it's recovering health the whole battle. We're just going to wait out this disease for a second. Let's see, where's our buff bar? Alright, we're going to pull the marksman. Hopefully that bandage goes off. Nah, it didn't. That's okay. Especially with our healing ability there. So as you see, marksman wasn't that hard. Let's get the bard. For the bard, you're gonna want mirror. It looks like he got both of us. That's pretty funny, I've never seen that before. Alright, we're just gonna have to wait for him to come back. I find with these guys you can pretty much stand still and not have to worry about anything. Same with the tamer though, like I've never had an issue. Let's see, just activate those skills. So this does pretty much sum up my video for Chivalry, or for this build at least. This is going to be your tankier build, so I know that some other players, they have their full DPS builds with Chivalry, and I'll do a video on that kind of stuff later on. But I thought this was a nice little introduction to the skill. And I'll do a necromancy video soon. That'll be my next little adventure. Necromancy, it's super OP. A fun skill to run for sure. Very easy to rip through dungeons, no problem. No tank needed. No mana needed, really. Man, it hurts to fail those disarms. Is there another damage skill? No. There we go. We'll fight one more marksman, just for fun. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh. Made the wrong ability up. But this should be alright. Well, let's try Boulder Whack. So these guys drain stamina a bit, just because of the amount of times they hit you. So ideally you drink a pot. Oh shit. That was close. Don't drink a potion when they're firing a volley at you. Lesson learned. That would have been embarrassing. I don't have to run through here, but it's just kind of fun to do so. Let's see now. Actually, we don't want that. We want that one. Get all of our abilities. I don't know if I can make it past here, but I want to check and see. Oh, no bandages left. Let's try it. I might die. Oh shit. Made it. Barely. Jesus. Yeah, I knew I was low on bandages. I just forgot. Alright. Well, thanks for viewing. I I should be coming out with a necromancy video this week. I have another day off in a few days, so yeah, probably on, let's see, what is today? I don't even know the day. Is it Wednesday? Well, it's Thursday now, but yeah, I'll do another video on Saturday, so keep an eye out for the necromancy video. It'll be a good one. Alright, see you for the next one.